There is no shortcut when it comes to changing your life. If you have to change your life, it must take massive actions. It must take a lot of pain. It must take a lot of work to actually achieve it. If you really want something in life, you must be in a position to change it until you achieve it. As a matter of fact, there is no shortcut when it comes to changing your life. There is no way here on earth you will think that you will use a shortcut, you will use some luck, There is nothing like that. If you have to change your life, it must take massive actions. It must take a lot of pain. It must take a lot of work to actually achieve it. I mean, this for those who are in a position of being like, I'm tired of being in this situation and I'm gonna change this shit. Because if you really want something in life, you must be in a position to change it. You get me? You must be in a position to mutate yourself. You must be in a position to change your present form to the next form that can really accommodate what you really want. Just like a butterfly, from egg, it has to change, It has to change, to pupa and all this, to larva and all this stuff. And at the end of it all, it becomes the beautiful butterfly it is. And that is just what it is. You can never think that you will achieve things that you really want in life when you haven't gone through that metamorphosis. It's nothing like that. Nothing. You cannot just sit down on your couch or sleep on your freaking bed and just think that you are going to achieve your dreams in the near future. There is nothing like that. You will die without it, bruv. You will die without it. That system is not working. And as well, you have to understand, there's no shortcut. No shortcut when it comes to achieving your dreams. There's nothing like that. You have to forget about it. And also, there are no strategies. There are no, quick fixes and all this stuff. There's nothing like that. You have to understand, it all begins with zero. You may read books. You may do all this stuff. You may be knowledgeable and all this stuff. But guess what? If you're not in a position of doing it, if you're not in a position of engaging yourself in it, like actively doing what you're supposed to do, every other thing is useless. Every other strategy from David Goggins is useless. You just have to be in a position of forcing yourself, sitting down with yourself and just be like, I'm gonna change this shit. Simply because that is what I have seen. That is what I know. Even if you listen to 1,000 of motivational videos, even if you watch 1,000 of podcasts, even if you read thousands of books, and you're not taking any action, you're not involving yourself actively in it, guess what? All of those things that you did are just useless. That is just what it is. That is the law of nature. You have to engage to learn. You have to actively engage in what you are doing to actually learn it. And that is just what it is. Mostly people don't seem to get it, but that's just a fact. That is what it is. And people don't like to be in a position of accepting that truth simply because they don't want to put in the work. And that is actually foolish. You have to understand, if you really want that thing, like you badly want it, then you can be in a position of doing it. Like for me, for instance, back in campus, back in high school, and in my first year doing the Form 4 exam, the KCSE and all this, I felt terribly, bruv. I had a freaking D, man. I had a D, but when I decided, because I looked at the situation of my home, my mother, my sister, all these people are suffering, they are working their faces off, and yet they don't have shit, I'm like, what the hell did I just do? What the hell did I just do, man? I'm going back in there and I'm going to get it. I'm going to freaking get it, bruv. I just went back to school, of which it was a struggle, by the way, simply because my mom was like, no, go do a course and all this. She was trying to push some other friends of hers to try to push me, to go back to high school. But I was like, no, I know what I want. So I went back and I actually did it, bruv. In 1 year, from getting mathematics a D, an E, and chemistry E, both of them I got C plus. In 1 year, in just 1 year, I worked my face off, bruv. Some of my friends were even telling me, whoa, bro, you're outworking yourself. Yeah. That is just what it is. It is just incredible. It is just incredible to see when we really want something, how we can achieve it, because it is actually doable. It is totally doable. If you, in your mind, you are sitting down and you are like, I really want this shit. I really want it. I must get it, bro. I must freaking get it. And nobody can just take it away from me again. If you really want it, then be assured that you'll go for it. If you sit down with yourself and just be genuine enough to say that I really want it, you put in the work that you have to put in to get it, whatever it takes. I remember back in the days I used to, like on Saturdays, go to school like from 8, I mean even from 5, I can remember very well, 5 a.m. in the morning, then go back home 5 a.m. in the evening. All the rest people have already gone at lunch and all this, but me, I'm studying. That is all it is. If you really want something, then you can get it. And guess what? At the end of it all, I went to campus, and all my 4 years now are done. That is what it is. If you really want it, I mean really want it, you can die for it, bruv. You can freaking go through hell for it. If you want that car, don't lie to yourself anymore. Don't be a freaking weirdo. Don't just sit down and just think that it will come just like that. It will appear to your freaking doorstep or someone will bring it to you. No. It will never happen. You will die hungry, man. You die freaking hungry. And you just be obscure all the way till you die. Because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That is what it is. There's no shortcut to this shit. There's no strategies. You have to force yourself, because your mind don't need strategies. You already know exactly the work that you have to put in. You already know exactly what you want, and you know the price that you have to pay. We already know that. We already know it. That is just a fact. You just have to be in a position of being like, I'm gonna do this. Watch me. Be assured. Assure yourself that you are gonna do this regardless of what. You have to understand, all this hardness, all this pain that life comes with it, as a matter of fact, they are here to help us develop, They are here to help us elevate rather than delay us, Because most people think that the pains that life come with it, they are here for us to be just a victim, to victimize in everything. They are here to make our lives a living hell. It's nothing like that, man. Everything that comes our way, every pain, every freaking inconveniences, everything that comes our way, it is here for a reason. It is here to make us stronger. It's here to test us. It's a clear sign that we are God's people, man. We are God's people, and He will definitely bring things that are here to help us. He will never bring something that, He will never allow something that can destroy us to come our way. Again, He will bring things that He knows clearly that we can handle. And these things are the ones that are meant for us to elevate. And if we don't note that when it comes, we start victimizing. We start thinking, oh, this is hard. You start watching movies. You start doing all these freaking habits. Smoking weed. Everything. Going to the clubs and all this shit. All these things we are doing just to escape the pain that was meant to help us grow, Do you see how foolish that is? That is so freaking foolish. You have to understand, your pain of being broke is here to show you that you need to be rich. The pain of being rejected is there to show you that you are supposed to be strong, lovable, you're supposed to be charismatic in such a way that this person will never reject you again. The pain of failing is there to show you that you need to start doing it and actually winning, That is just all it is. That is all it is. Every other thing that comes our way, the pain of, losing our loved ones. These are here to just make us understand that we are living in life, man. We are not living in outer space and all this shit. We are not aliens. We are human beings. And that is what happens. And if we use that pain to victimize and become some little pancakes, pieces of shit, you have to understand you are done. You are done if you soften yourself up for that. When that situation comes in and you are soft, you cannot handle it on your freaking shoulders. Guess what next? You're going to the freaking Times Tower. The hard rate floor, just throw yourself down simply because you cannot handle stuff. You are fucking soft like a freaking weirdo. That is all it is. But if you use that pain, if you view that pain like something that is here to help you elevate, help you do what you're supposed to do, push your mental barricades, If you use that pain as a source of pure energy, guess what? You're going to achieve it. And that is just what it is. That is what it is. The pain is not here to destroy us. Because we are God's people and he can never bring something that he knows very well will destroy us. He will only bring things that will enable us to elevate. And that is actually important simply because if we link this to the first part of the video, you can see very clearly it is just for you to elevate. If you want that freaking mansion that you really want, or maybe a BMW or a beautiful wife and all this shit, it will come with pain. It will come with it. And if you cannot handle that pain, guess what? You don't qualify for that thing. So you will start thinking that you qualify for that thing, yet you didn't pay the price that you have to pay to get it in the first place. You start thinking that you will evade that pain, and then at the end of it all, you will actually get what you want. It can never work like that unless you steal, man. Unless you steal. That is just all it is. You have to be in a position of training yourself to handle the pain. Training yourself to push your mental barricades, because the mind is the one that actually fucks us up. The mind is the one that actually limits us. It's like our speed governors to just limit us from going that extra mile that we really have to go so that we achieve what we really want to achieve. That is just what it is. You have to figure out your own personal equations simply because if you don't, it's done. It is done for you. And actually, nobody can help you figure out your equation, man. Even a coach himself, even if you get a coach or, mentors and all this shit. Yes, they will guide you. They can guide you, by the way. But guess what? It's up to you to actually learn who you are from within. No one can show that to you. Nobody. Nobody can reveal who you are to yourself unless you do that. Unless you dig through the shit and just see that gem that you really are. Because if you don't, no one will show you. Even the coach can't help you any further. That is just what it is. And that is why I'm telling you, there are no shortcuts, there are no strategies, there is no hacks, or all this shit that we see online. People telling us, do this, do that, you will be successful. There is nothing like that. You just have to be in a position of sitting down and just understand what you really want. Then be clear enough the steps and the work that you have to put in. Then wake up every day. Face your demons that tell you not to do that. When you get to that limit, and you're like, hell no, let me go an extra mile, man. Let me go an extra mile, extra. You continue pushing yourself harder. That is what will determine if you really get it. Because most people get to that limit and they're like, no, I'm not going anymore. I'm not going anymore. I'm tired. I'm freaking burnt out, man. And that's where you find them during the weekends. They go out there and just womanize. They just go to pubs and all these clubs and all this shit. They do every other thing that they think. They drink booze. They do all this bullshit. Because they can't handle that pressure. That pressure of just outdoing themselves, you know. They cannot handle that. But if you really want it, as I told you, if you actually want it, you have to be in a position of facing those demons that tell you, don't go anymore, and you're like, hell no, give me more, and I'm gonna handle it. That is what it is. You have to face them. Be like that person who don't give shit of what is happening, of what you think, of whatever feeling you have. You're like, I'm gonna do this. Watch me, bruv. I'm gonna do this. That is what it is. You have to force yourself, because there's no quote. You know, I see people posting quotes and all this stuff. I don't know. People are posting quotes like crazy, man. Some good quotes. And I'm like, you will never do that. You will never do that, bruv. That is what it is. Because you cannot run these things on books or even quotes. You cannot run it anywhere. Just doing yourself, man. Just doing it. That is the only time when you can be in a position of actually running it, because you did it. Again, you cannot run being a good friend from a freaking quote. You can learn it by actually living it. That is what it is. That is just what it is. You know, I've seen a lot of friendship breaking up and all this stuff. Because back in campus, by the way, most of my colleagues, when they took out tunasoma na wao, these people, they don't even talk. And they were close friends. Why? Why don't they? Because in the first place they were fake. That is what it is. How can you go for a freaking whole week without talking? Yo, how are you doing, man? Without even calling, without texting. How can you do that? You know? How? If you really value that person, like I mean really value, because we are off the mediocrity shit, man. We're off the mediocrity shit saying that, oh, it's okay, I believe it's okay and all. There's nothing like that. If you really value that person, it's just like your mom or your boyfriend. You can not just go throughout the day without talking to such kind of people who you really care about. You know, it all narrows down to who you are. It all narrows down to the work you put in, you know, because if you don't put in the work, it's not going to happen. You just have to forget about it for good. That is what it is, people. But it's okay. It's okay for those who are like, okay, those who don't want to put in the actions. It's okay for you. It's okay. Continue wanting. Continue admiring. But if you don't put in the work, you continue doing that. But for the G's now, you have to understand. You have to be very clear of what you have to do. You have to be very clear. Sit down with yourself and just analyze the work that you have to put in. Just see that mountain that you have to climb. Then start climbing by one step at a time. Don't think that you can step 2 or 3 steps. Just one. You don't need 10 steps. You don't need 10. Just one. Every day one. Or even an inch. One. Every day. Just ensure that you're moving. That is what it is. That is what will definitely create the results. You get me? That is what it is. So, if you actually do that, you'll come to understand that life is a head game. Life is a game within your head, between your ears, you know. Life is a game that involves the story we tell ourselves, the story we tell ourselves on a daily basis. I can do this, or man, this is hard. It is all around the story that we tell ourselves. And if your story is bad, if the story is here to discourage you to do that thing, there's no way you are going to get it, simply because your own mentality, your own mind is actually against you already. That means there's no way you can actually achieve it, simply because from within you are done. You get me? So you people, you have to understand, life is a head game, and there is no hack, and there is no strategy, there's no shit that will come and rescue in any other way. You just have to sit down with yourself and God and just be in a position of analyzing what needs to be done and actually do it, regardless of what the pain, regardless of discomfort, regardless of anything. Whatever needs to be sacrificed have to be sacrificed. For instance, if you really want success, you have to sacrifice comfort, you have to sacrifice sleep, you have to sacrifice overspending, on things you don't need, overeating, all these things. You have to put them into consideration to understand that if I really want to get this thing, if I really want to get here in life, this and this and this and this has to go. You get me? So just go out there, be in a position of elevating. Stop accepting mediocrity, Stop tolerating mediocrity, people, because this will destroy you. That is assured. If you embrace mediocrity and all this stuff, doing things half-ass, like a freaking weirdo, you start a thing, you get to a point that it gets harder and you're like, no, I'm not gonna do this anymore. You go to the next task and all this. Guess what? You're piling up undone tasks, and you end up being a freaking loser simply because you didn't do anything. You have to be in a position of stopping being mediocre. If you really want something, you really want it. You want that BMW? Good. Go for it. Never give a fuck what happens anymore. Just go and just do what you're supposed to do. Even if your mind comes your way and just be like, no, I'm gonna have this shit. I don't give a fuck what you feel. That is just what it is. You have to force your mind. You have to force the mind to adapt a 5 more, a 5 more, a 5 more, a 5% more, until you get to that 90% of your potential. Because if you don't push yourself that hard, if you don't actually go that extra mile, if you don't push yourself to do the extra work that needs to be done, that an average man cannot do, if you don't force yourself to do that, you're just like any other person who haven't yet achieved anything, simply because you're not ready to put in the work. That is all it is. I was amazed by Elon Musk simply because it was like the average person normally works in a week, works for 40 hours. But you find this dude, when he was starting, he was working like 60 all the way to 80 hours. Just imagine that work. That's freaking crazy. That dude is probably sleeping 3 to 4 hours. That's what it is. That is just what it is. If you really want it, you have to push. You have to pay the price, bruv. You have to pay the price in full. But then I was watching a David Goggins video just the other day, and this dude was like, I want to go to heaven and just be like, the one who is judging me, that is God. Be like, I didn't see this coming, man. I had this and this and this in mind, but you did it. That's all it is. You have to push yourself and just become so incredible that everyone around you can see who you are. That is what it is. Force yourself to just go there and just do what you are supposed to do. Force yourself to perform regardless of what. Force yourself, because if you don't, you won't be in a position of getting it. That is just the truth. That is just the universal rule. You can never get anything that you haven't worked for. You have to work for it, then you will receive it in the end. It's nothing that comes so quick that never goes. That is all it is. Because if you get something so quick, it will just stay for some while, then it will evaporate just like that. It's just like winning big money, a big sum of money. You have, like, you just won. You didn't work for it. Guess what? You will overspend it simply because you don't feel a sense of owning it, simply because you didn't work for it. You didn't pay the price that it takes for it. But if you work for something so hard, you will constantly monitor and maintain it, because you feel the pain, you feel the pride of having it. You fought for it, you fought to acquire it. That is all it is. You people go out there, focus on doing what you're supposed to do until you achieve it, until you freaking achieve it, because that is all it is. Those who put in the work always get what they did want, but those who don't, they will never do that. Be the best version of yourself. See you in the freaking next video. Adios.